in there? Are you in there? All right. All right, let me start. I'm surrounded by criminals out here, baby. Nobody wants to pay Dr. T. You want to work Dr. T, take Dr. T services, not pay Dr. T no money. I know it is. That socialist communist ideology destroy anybody, baby. Nobody gonna get paid. How y'all doing? Welcome to the house of Dr. T. My lovely wife is coming in. Her name is Dr. Roselle. She makes me call her Doctor. You gotta stay married, right? All right. So, y'all can repost that about these criminals. Look, Dr. T likes to expose criminals. Because these people are already mentally ill. They already got problems. They don't need no shankster criminal coming in making their mental health worse. Not gonna happen. I reported every one of them to the federal government. Because that's what happens with criminals. You should be reported to criminals. That's why Dr. T didn't do no criminal activity. Because Dr. T didn't want to get reported by the federal government. So, okay? Hey, honey, how you doing, baby? My wife is a professor. She's getting married. Okay, so today, surprise of these monsters is, hey, good to see you down there, man. Is, Rosa Parks. Now, don't you notice how sweet that lady look? Would you ever think that sweet lady would sell out her own people? Yes, she did. And let me tell you what they do is, you'll notice that all these psychopaths, like the school shooters, don't you notice that they all have these innocent faces like, yeah, he would never shoot anybody. They do that on purpose. They want people that can't be suspect. They want people that don't raise any alarms. And in the black community, they knew that they would accept this. You know why they thought this is where they would accept this? Who knows? Anybody knows? In the black culture, who raises their black kids alive? Anybody know? In the black culture, when I go to kids' houses, like 30, 50% is grandmothers. You knew that because Tavistock studies you. They profile you. They sit around and listen to what you like. And when black people sat around and reminisced their grandmother, they gave them exactly what they wanted in Rosa Parks. Because they knew that a lot of black people were raised by the grandparents and felt safer. These people are monsters. They learn everything about you so they can kill you. So I had a hard time finding out, because it's always recruitment and it's always education. So when they are in the Matrix movie and you see Smith replicating, they like to do stuff like that to keep you on the rabbit trail forever. Because in order to find out this information, you'd have to do what I do, spend up all night eating Pop-Tarts, with your wife yelling at you in Russian. Thank God I don't understand Russian. You know what I mean? And then I got to go to the office because you have to really stay at this. Every time you take a break, it's like going back to it again. So I started again. Couldn't find her because the woman didn't go to college. She didn't go to college. But guess where she went to? Let me show you the trail. Let's pray first. Let's pray first. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, you know how hard it is to accept difficult truth. We need you to do it. I know I don't like when people tell me I'm wrong. It feels bad, but I've learned to swallow the pill. Help people swallow the pill. In Jesus' name. Okay, hey. All right, so want to do a review. Because some people can't go there. Some of y'all know. Some people don't. But let's take a look. Well, all people don't feel like that about grandmothers. I know. I get people in counseling sessions where people tell me the gut-naked truth that they won't tell anybody else. When I go to Gallup, I'm usually the first person they told that their father raped them. They've been living with their mama and all their family for 20 years, and who told them about it? The man that was in the next room was raping them every night. So that's what I bring to you. I bring you information that nobody would ever hear because people tell me things for 30 years because they know I'm legally bound. So I give you the information, no names, of course. Okay, so let's go now. Review. Harvard is where? It started in Germany, but these German psychos came from Auschwitz. See, they've done all that splicing and dicing with the Jews, tearing them into pieces, trying to find out what makes us tick so they can give us what we want in constructs. So they found out all human motivations, what makes people tick, what makes them do it. And they wanted to know human motivation because they wanted to be able to do it involuntarily. They wanted to control how you move involuntarily. That's what, y'all remember Gavin Newsom doing all that weird hand shit? Man, I took about 5 hours reviewing that. It's codes. It's rhythmic codes. And those codes can open up your eye gate. I do EMDR. You may know that. People think the eye is what you see with. No, the eye doesn't see anything. Everything in your body is a data collector. Everything. The anus, that's what happens when people get raped. They become homosexual and confuse them because their anus is connected to everything. Your hair is all collecting data. Everything. And when it collects that data, it goes into your retina to organize it. And then it doesn't turn into a picture until it enters your brain. What Tavistock learned to do is they've learned through involuntary. I do it tapping the person. I never like doing that. You touch a girl, she got a little mental problem. Next thing you know, she's trying to say, Dr. T, hey, what's up there, buddy? Dr. T trying to do something great. Dr. T married ain't down with it. I'm retired. Some people want to be players. Dr. T can't handle it. So I always thought in my mind, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that without having to touch her? And these fools figured it out. And they tested it using Gavin Newsom, that crazy dude. That's a pervert. I'll tell you right now. I can look at Gavin Newsom, tell he's doing some dark shit. I mean, no bottom. The man has no character. You look at him, look at his eyes, it's not congruent. Every time he talks, it's not congruent. So when he says, I love Republicans, man, I believe for sure, it's not congruent with how his body's moving. So what he was doing when he did that, y'all might remember that. Y'all remember that? Gavin Newsom doing that weird shit? I did a video on TikTok, but then they cut me off permanently. Don't like Dr. T. If I like Dr. T, what's going on? Nobody like Dr. T, man. I'm going to get in my little personal issue. Okay. So what he learned to do, they were testing it. They do test runs to see it works. Then they must have social engineers collecting data amongst us because they're getting this data somehow. So somehow they had a method of measuring Gavin Newsom's effect with all that weird hand shit. But what it's meant to do is to activate the eye gate so they can go put something in your brain. That's the only thing they can do. The woman who discovered that, her name was Catherine. I used to know her name, was the last name. She's a wonderful woman. She would never create anything that would harm anybody. She did it because she felt bad about women who were traumatized and had memories stuck in their brain. And she found a way to get it out, to open it out. She learned this technique through her research that you can do automated responses through touches, hands, and rhythms, and certain rhythms. And she was right. They learned to do it without hands. And they're testing to see if they can brainwash us through hand movements and slap stuff in our brains. So that's what that about. And anybody, I'll fight anybody in that because I know the science. That's the only thing it could be. Okay, so in review, this is Urban Age. This is Sigmund Freud's nephew. And he's from Germany, and he's a mad scientist. And he's a Luciferian. They're all Luciferian. All of them Luciferian. I can tell that because their constructs always lead to one thing: death and destruction. The thief cometh not but to kill, steal, and destroy. How in the world are they lining up with Satan like that? I'm going to let you have it. Well, anyway, they're all Satanists. You can look it all up. This is Urban Age. Urban Age is the man. He's the one that came up with it, and he's probably the one that was hanging out in Auschwitz, collecting all the data, torturing and tearing apart and dismantling the Jews. So, who said that? Yeah, well, it's social engineering, but what it does is it hinders your perceptual abilities. That is, the inability to see things clearly. You see it, but you don't see it clearly. You see the white man there, but he hates you. So they can brainwash you to see racism and everything. That's what they did to black people through the civil rights movement. I'm going to show it to you how it was a mass brainwash. I'm going to show you the whole thing, how they did it. But anyway, all these schools were just brainwashing them, and I can prove it. I can go down and I'm John Brewer now. They don't kill me, I'm Brewer. Just brain me. Okay, so this is why black people are acting a fool, people. You want to understand when you're looking out there and they praising P. Diddy, moralist psychopath, godless psychopath, sodomite, and then want to tell you got a problem. I'm telling you, I saw more black people out there praising Diddy than I saw white people. Argue it all you want, but Dr. T got glasses, baby, okay? All right, so this is Urban Age. Urban Age was the founder of propaganda. He ran the Wellington House, Chatham House. He ran everything. And he got all the stuff from torturing the Jews, brought it to them, and they said, oh, man, this is great information. We can brainwash everybody. Wow, how many times did you have to break her leg before? See what they doing. They was pushing human behavior to the limits to see what people do. And really what they wanted was family structure. That's how they destroyed black people. And they learned the science of destroying families And they went in there in these schools and put in thoughts, ideas, belief systems, value systems, perception. They caused black people not to take up for each other. So in that school, they were fighting. They had them fighting for positions. They were like, well, we want to make so-and-so the head doctor, but, we need someone strong enough to kick him out of the school for the rest of his life. And so, they do stuff like that to turn blacks against each other, just like they do now. And they did that while all the social engineers were watching this going on and monitoring. I know because I do it for a living. You sit there and monitor every behavior. I go into the hospitals and do it. They don't even know I'm a doctor. They don't even know. I'm just walking in there. I think sometimes I go in there and look like the custodian. And all I'm doing is seeing if these fools running things right. And I like to come in as a custodian. That's the best part, because that's believable. They're going to believe I'm a custodian before I'm a doctor, right? So the custodian's cool. Plus, I can ask questions, and they think I'm a custodian. Meanwhile, these people done paid me $10,000 to find out who's stealing shit. Okay, all right. So anyway, Eric Benes, Sigmund Freud. Freud was a pedophile. We know this because his nephew, Sir Clint something, he's the one that was investigated for that girl Marilyn, that little girl disappeared. Dude was living in the same condo in the same community as them, and he's a prolific pedophile that's gone to prison dozens of times. He's Sigmund Freud's nephew living there. John Podesta was renting his condo. Don't tell nobody else. He was there when this girl from John Podesta, this Clint, Sigmund Freud's distant cousin, who's a prolific pedophile, contacts the girl's family, talking to them like he's a concerned citizen. And they don't find out till much later that this dude's a psychopath related to Sigmund Freud. See, Sigmund Freud's father was a psycho. He was raping Anna. It was never recorded that he raped Sigmund Freud. They probably kept that on purpose. But here's the deal. The man was obsessed with sex, and I think he was trying to cure himself because he was raping people and he didn't really want to do it. He was thinking, oh man, I'm a psychologist, what are we going to do? But then again, he was a psycho. We're all into pedophilia. They like homosexuals. They want everybody to be gay. Hey, listen, I got my best friend. I love gay people, man. I treat them for free. You know what I mean? But man, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have no problems, man. Okay, so Eric Benes, this dude is Kurt Van Loren. Together they established Tavistock. And these people are absolute monsters. Let me give you an example. They did the Holocaust, man, and they're trying to do another one with prisons. Obvious. Anybody can see there's no difference between Auschwitz and prison. Not a thing. It's just, what do you say that? It's just, how do you say that, honey, when you just talk about stuff? It's just a makeup. It's just Cosmo. It's just outside dornings. They don't have nothing. And then they hand it to you. Okay, so had this psychopath, Van Loren. He then trained, I didn't have the guy here, this guy named William James. He's an old crazy looking dude. He's another social scientist. He trained him. And they used this guy to build a platform for all these brainwashing black schools. So he went and created, what they did is they infiltrated all black schools, everything. Even the ones that were legitimate. They got in, took over, social engineers or everything. Black people didn't incorporate. The civil rights movement was a completely violent thing. They were kicking ass, kicking in. They were breaking people's arms, breaking people's children. Listen, it's the Communist Manifesto, man. You understand? It's the doctrine of death. In it, these psychos incorporated death and Satanist ideologies in the Communist Manifesto. That's why everybody's always angry. God is love, peace. It's a demonic act. It was created by Karl Marx. I didn't put him up here. I don't want to talk about that dude no more. Because I read his poems. I'll let you go do it yourself. I couldn't get through hardly of them. Man talking about putting shit all over his daughter and doing. I mean, who does that? And he's saying he does it for Satan. And that's the man who met with these psychopaths to make a communist family, which is a program that if you insert it in somebody's head, they will die. Because they will try to live out that, just like in the Matrix. And the only place that program is going is you dying. And if you don't believe that, look at who's gone. And these are the morons, the psychopathic murderers, that somehow have this idea that if they exterminate all of us, we'll all be free. Listen, man, I didn't write the book. This is what I'm seeing these guys doing and everything. Look, this LGBTQ cutting off people's dicks and penises, having children where they can never produce. Listen, I was in a live chat. I did one on and showed you how it's all created by psychopath transgender. I was in a live chat with these dudes. These dudes basically laughing about, hey, I'm gonna see my brothers. Yeah. They were just smile and the ghetto comes out because I have regrets. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, man, he's doing this. He's doing great. Okay, so this dude creates the first, he creates him. That's Booker T. Washington. Black people, would you please start calling him the sellout? Because this is the guy that did it. At first, that's W.E. Du Bois. These are all communists. And they're sellouts. The brainwashing didn't start with the black people yet. They needed these sellouts to do it. And what they did was, this was Harvard. Harvard was the only place at this time that you could go to get a PhD. Because black colleges didn't have nothing. And these fools created Tuskegee, and you see what comes out of the BSUs. You think this kid's crazy. Fat-ass girls, most unattractive black girls I've ever seen, dancing like they're beautiful. Can you see more delusion? I mean, unattractive girls like this, trying to eat everything in the college, dancing. Who wants to see that? My mother would roll it up great, man. My mother would beat me senseless looking at an ugly black girl like that, weighing 900 pounds, acting like she a stripper in a strip bar. Somebody do something. All right. So they need these. I'm gonna say it, man, because y'all want to call me. I'm gonna say it, man. My mother told me this tell truth. Sell out niggas. W.E. Du Bois. This is Carter. This is the guy who started the organization that's all over the Instagram, giving false shit to black people to keep them angry so they can continue to destroy their lives while they blame delusionally white people. Lord have mercy. These are the guys that are responsible. I'm going to show you how. So they aligned with these guys, gave them college degrees, names on shit, and they sold out their people. And let me tell you something right now, black people, you need to understand. These social engineers discovered that black people have a tendency to sell each other out. They lack loyalty. It was one of the things they found when they were doing their profile. See, the profiling. They find out what you want. They find out what you want to believe. And they know that black people desperately and delusionally want to believe that they haven't made any wrong decisions, just like the drug addicts I work with. They've done nothing wrong. They haven't hurt anybody. They're only hurting themselves. And it's all your fault. How in the world, in any planet, can something delusional as that be true? One is, it violates the laws of success, which is the law of taking personal responsibility, which is what we choose in the Constitution. That's why people that practice it become doctors. And the people that don't practice it work at Dollar General. Y'all know who work at Dollar General, right? Still can't figure it out. Still asking the government to rescue them, and they're free. And they're fully able to rescue themselves. But they practice socialist ideology. My wife is here. She's Russian. Don't say no. I still love her. But anyway, she knows Russian. She told me about what it does. She says everything she sees black people laughing, never get taken individual responsibility, is what happens in Russia. The woman's Russian, man. I think she knows about Russia. I think my Russian wife, who ran her ass out of there, knows more about Russia than black people. Still black people gonna tell me they know more than me. How many Russian women have you married? I've been dating them all my life. Okay, never mind. Okay. Sorry, I got a little personal on that one. I have to tease back now. I have to tease back. All right. Okay. So they got these suckers to align. And what they align to do is to help them replicate colleges to keep brainwashing black people, to keep them angry and blaming y'all so they never grow. And to bring them with socialist commensality, which is the doctrine of death, that if you use it, it has thoughts, ideas, belief systems, values, and you can never progress with it. You can never, it's incorporated ideas that will put you in a perpetual state of freeze. You can't go forward. You can't move forward. You can't progress in your life. That's what it does. Let me give you an example. My wife is a doctor. She's now, I can tell you how much money she made more money. Anyway, she's Russia. She got a PhD. She's doing groundbreaking research. But in Russia, they practice the government giving you your freedom. It's limited freedom. Here you go, $15. Don't spend it all in one place. When she came to America, she got on the plane. She froze because she in Russia, everything's paid for. They give you an apartment. Hey, go live over here. You don't like it? Tough. Here, she had to find her own apartment, off the plane, had to get her own apartment, didn't have a car because they don't have cars in Russia. So, and y'all want to go over there. But the woman was a PhD making $15 a month, and black people want to go over Russia. Let me stop. So, they got these suckers, and they got this fool, Booker T. Washington. I showed you the picture. He's sitting in the front. They got him to sell out black people so they can keep this construct of the Tuskegee Institute. So, because they profile you. They find out what you like, what you want to believe in. And they found out that black people wanted their own college. So they gave them what they wanted. They just put some social engineers in there to brainwash them with Communist Manifesto so they can run around the country burning shit. Because what black people are doing here in the United States are the same shit that Russians were doing running all over Russia, burning shit and running. The same thing. Replication. They put in the construct, you act the same way. Gangster rap does the same way. Gangster rap is a program that allows black men, without their knowledge, to follow this program straight where Tavistock wants them, in a prison, where they can't do nothing, where they have no help, can't make a phone call and they let you, to be experimenting on you for months, nobody to find out like they do in China. And they are dying to go there. Don't even know it until they get in Sashina. I go to prisons. And they're in the Matrix. You know, the lifestyle has ended. Now the Matrix has ended. It's complete. He's where Tavistock wants him, so they can begin finding out how his brain works and get extract stuff out of him. So he's in the prison, door closes. And you know what? It's amazing. Do you know that every time I saw these kids, when they closed the door, he had life, he'd never leaving, he'd never go nowhere, can't go to the bathroom for the rest of life, but you ask me, you know, and all of a sudden he gets wisdom, he wakes up. What happens that wakes him up? Reality wakes him up. He wakes up because the matrix ideas and these constructs are based on nothingness but air. Experiences are built on experiments, so they have some. See, I was homeless, see, and I did eat out of those garbage cans. So when I go back and talk about it, I can tell you about it because I lived it. When you don't, and then when you have to believe something, that means you have to put confident weight on something, and it's something that's in your mind, not something that was generated for a genuine life experience. You can't support it. So that's why when you see these dudes trying to argue with me, fuck you, man. Sorry, honey, sorry. Yeah, you a coon. It's because they're listening to what I'm saying. They're processing. I know. I do neurological studies. I know what they're doing. Their brain is trying to. So what happens? Somebody gives you, challenge you. Your brain goes in overdrive, trying to create an argument. Does it before you even know it. But what happens with them is because their beliefs are not based. It's a civil rights movement. It's here. It's created through social engineers. How could it be real? Martin Luther King wasn't real. Shows you nobody's real. And then they go try to argue it, and it's built on something that was given to them rather than something, an idea that they adopted through the process of a genuine experience. They can't defend it. There's nothing there to defend it. So all these people arguing with me, it ain't that I'm so smart. It's just that they're trying to defend something that doesn't exist. That's easy to beat, right? All right, so this cat built the Tuskegee Institute. Now let me tell you how Rosa Parks slipped in and how I missed her. The girl didn't go to college. She won about the only one because they like getting you in college is the brainwashing. But do you know what they brainwashed her? They brainwashed her and got her as a child. She went to Booker T. Washington High School. Now listen to this. They tried to say the girl wasn't there. I actually saw something that she was there. You know what they did? She was there, but her mother got sick and she had to leave, and then she came back. They tried to use that to blot out the... See, that's what they do. They do this with history. So they can play games with your head where they tell you was enslaved for 200 years and you weren't enslaved for over 46 years. Everybody else is in slavery 400 years and 5 Mexicans 500 and you want no ground to stand on, no argument. I'm sorry. Okay, so he then created, he had Tuskegee, that's Tuskegee. You see this picture where you see all these lovely, beautiful young black men, this is all mass brainwash. So let me tell you, what they did was, is they got her, recruited her. I didn't put Martin's picture up again, but Martin's like over here. So they recruited Martin into Baptist Theological Seminary. They love Baptist Theological Seminaries. I don't know, but they infiltrated them, all them Baptist Theological Seminaries, all of them. They went in there and social engineered. They went into the NAACP, which was never created by black people. It was black people they put in there, but what they did was they didn't realize it, but they had black trained social scientists, and at that time, I'm still unheard of, but then having a black social scientist, It's unheard of. That's why these people sold their people out for us like we're gold. So if I went to you during, what I'm saying to you is crazy now, you're having a hard time. Who's going to believe that you got black social scientists, that these people have been replicating it and giving them degrees like crazy so that they can own them and take it away? Because they can take away your degree, man. They can take, and trust me, Harvard would have done it. There's all devils there. So they got this fool to start Tuskegee Institute. Now let me tell you this. I got to tell you this, because here's where you understand what was going on. After slavery, black people were doing fine. All that shit about had something is nonsense. Black people had achieved something that no race had ever achieved. They had recovered from slavery faster than any other race, and then built an educational system that has not been even come close. I believe you. Yeah, I'm telling you how it's rated specifically. So I'm saying, so they had this school, Tuskegee Institute. He's got them all in there. But before that, they came out of slavery. Had nothing. Twigs, baby, twigs. I'm talking about the people had nothing. You know that, right? Somehow, they managed to go from 1865, everybody illiterate, can't read a number, and then 15, 17, everybody's reading like college level. And these people got scared like shit because they would know that they would be the most difficult people to brainwash after that. They launched the largest campaign. Suddenly grew hearts for Jesus. Maybe they got saved, maybe Satan, I don't know. But they started building educational systems and controlling them everywhere. And they granted, and they gave black people money and fame, and that's what they gave Booker T to sell out his people. They gave him a name on a high school, and he sold us out. And you want to tell Dr. T, I'm a sellout nigga for telling you the truth. They brainwashed that in you, and I'll prove it to you. So 1917, everybody can read. All of a sudden, they want to do an educational program. So now they get this sucker to get y'all black people up in here so they can brainwash them. All of those experiments, every single one, were done by black nurses and doctors on their own people. They social engineered black people to be enemies of themselves and treat each other just like white people see them treated now. That was social engineered. How do I know this? Because you can't achieve the greatest educational system in the world unless you're working together. It takes collaboration, and that's one of my areas of expertise, going into agencies, teaching them to start bickering and fighting with each other. You know? So I know they could work together, and I know why. They had their faith. They were devout Christians. They prayed all the time, even when they were in the cotton fields. My mother told me this, that black people suffer well. And what that means is, black people don't even talk about it anymore, because Tavistock took that. No black kid parent teaches this anymore. Black people suffer well. Because my mother was gut level true. She said, what do you mean? She said, the gift of black people is we can suffer and not be bitter. People can do stuff that, and I know this is true, because in slavery, see, hate kills everything. If you can't be a hateful person and say, I'm just going to love white people, black people, but I'm not. No. If you have hate in you, it's going to hate everybody. That's why they put it in the Communist Manifesto, because they knew y'all keep, look at how y'all act. Y'all treat me bad, hate me, but you hate white people too. We hate everybody because it was socially engineered that you do this. Why? Because you didn't do it until you got in these schools. And after you got in these schools, you're experimenting on your own people for decades. You were sterilizing, that's right, it was us. It wasn't white people doing that, it was us. We were sterilizing our own people. They didn't know. We were smiling in their faces, just like we do today, because my mother said that. Black people smiling in your face while stabbing you back. Had happened millions of times. Y'all do it to me all the time. So come on now, let's be the truth now. And they'll smile in your face. They were smiling at me while they were sterilizing these women to never have children for the rest of their lives, taking away their entire generation from them, while they were smiling and talking to them. And these were black nurses and doctors. So how the hell are you blaming white people? Then, wasn't enough just to sterilize their own people, because they brainwashed us to do that. That's why they have that negative attitude to their own people. These psychopaths learned a way of social. This is what they did. Let me tell you what they did. Everything's a construct. The KKK is a construct. They built the KKK. It's an ideology. Then they took that, just changed the name construct, just like they do in the Matrix, BLM. Changed the construct a little bit, adapted to the people in the time, Antifa. This is for white people. Antifa is the same thing as all it is. It's just the construct has been modified, brainwashed. So it is. So this is what these people were doing. Their masters had it, their geniuses. So we didn't know what was going on. This was Clark School. This is where Clark School is what this guy started. He's a social scientist, so you know everything that's going on here. All the staff, everybody, social scientist, very much. Whole NAACP, whole civil rights movement. And what I showed you here is it was a violent. The civil rights movement had in it the manifesto, and everything that Antifa and BLM is. That's why they were murdered and they hid it. So they murdered people. Look, the civil rights movement was murdered. Dr. King was ordering assassins with that dude. I showed you that sellout, closet homosexual. If homosexuality is so cool, why are you hiding it? I don't hide my wife. Why are you hiding it if it's so cool? Amazingly enough, they want to tell you it's normal, but they hide it all the time. And then they want to blame you for hiding it. What you think I'm going to beat you up because you're homosexual? I love everybody. Don't you love everybody? I don't care who you have sex with. What do I care? Homosexuals care more about their sex than I do. I ain't out there marching ridiculously naked in front of people's kids. It's wrong. It's wrong. The LGBTQ community is simply wrong. You put it in a construct, LGBTQ, it's all the white people. How do they know this? Because they know the population, the exact number of white people that want to believe that shit because they have the profile. You find out what you want to believe in. And they know black people want to believe that white people are their problem, so they keep giving you what you believe until you're dead. And then they know white people want to believe in these fantasy things about being. So they send all these movies as precursors to fool young, mentally ill white girls that they might be in love with. They do that with these movies. Movies are precursors, not movies. They tell you everything. Meanwhile, they're brainwashing, preparing you for pedophilia or some of the next psychotic shit. People say, okay, so they got her. They recruited this guy, Martin Luther King from, I don't even want to see his face anymore, but Baptist theologians. They love these theologians because these people are hypocrites. They use Christianity. Martin Luther King was preaching to you, which all of his speeches were created by these guys, because they don't let anybody do nothing. Everything's controlled, just like controlled breeding. Nobody, the Democrats, don't nothing come out unless a social scientist has seen it first, and I can guarantee that they don't trust these morons. You see, Comstock only recruits morons, people that can be completely controlled. So if you do anything in your life, you're gonna find out you're some pervert shit. Or something like Tim Walsh. Tim Walsh was a school teacher who started grooming his students, and they booted him out. Go look it up. I already did. He liked to play with boys. What he do is he liked to play. He's like, you ever see those? He's like camp leader, porn movies. Camp leader. Hey, you want me to show you that tweet? That's what he's doing. He was having these events. You see his wife's a psycho. I mean, how could you not see that woman is crazy? That woman's probably got 10 mils. And so women like her will let her husband do that shit. I work with people where the husband, the wife, was protecting the guy while he bringing in kids, molesting them. And she up there looking out the window trying, listen, I'm understand it's crazy. Let me show you the way. Okay. So they out there. This is one woman, and I got plenty of them for the FOIA request. She's out there committing violent crimes. Here's what they did. You think they're doing civil rights. At this folk school, I read the report. Police officer named Firestone. He's a white dude, and I don't know what white people, black people talking about. Because there was about 10 to 5 law enforcement agencies trying to tell J. Edgar Hoover that these fools, these communists were, and they called it radical impact on black people. That's what he had in the report, radical impact, which means they're really messing with these people's head. Because FBI agents, you have to take psychology, so they know psychology. They tried hiring me like 1 year old. Okay, so they hired her. They were all, this is the folk school. This is the folk school. You see any children there? They told Tennessee they were opening up a children's ABC literacy, and we're teaching children, and we're just here because we just love God. And we just love these black people so much that we're going to teach all their children to read. But it really was, I looked it up. It's all the teachers scientists in the world. Now, can you explain to me why you need trained social scientists to teach children ABC, common sense, good judgment, wisdom, good thinking, the brainwashing people? Okay, here's number 2. Firestone, I can't find a picture of the guy. I just have his report. He's FBI. A lot of them, they were informants in the civil rights movement, reporting these people killing people, man. They were blowing up people's house. What happened is they're terrorist organizations, just like Black Lives Matter, but in the front, the construct, civil rights. So they took a civil rights contract, put it on Antifa. They looked like they're helping people. Antifa, you know what Antifa was doing? They was training them to stab people in the eye and put their eye out and make it look like it was an accident, like you fell. You know, I had a video where they're in there training them to put our eyes out and make it look like an accident. You know where that comes from? The Communist Manifesto. Injuring people and then getting out of it legally is a Communist Manifesto belief. So most of those black people you see running their acting fool are infected with the Communist Manifesto. That's why they never feel individual responsibility. That's why one of us can stab a man, stab a boy in the chest. Kyle wouldn't bother anybody. Black boy was out of place. I mean, you couldn't be more wrong. I mean, the man was cutting out of school. My son cut out of school. My mom was about being where you're supposed to be. If you wasn't what you're supposed to be, you didn't have a support. You didn't have a support. The right thing to do is, if the man wasn't doing the right thing and where he's supposed to be, I'm going to tell you something. I told my son, I ain't advocating criminal activity. And thank God he did what I said. But I said, I'm going to tell you what my mother told me. Don't ever think I'm coming to get your ass. You're going to pay full consequences. Full consequences. Because if I don't, you'll be doing that shit for the rest of your life. I ain't raising no freaking criminal in my house. Okay, now, here she is. Her name is Daisy Bates. This is a woman. Look at her. This woman was out beating people half their life. She was an enforcer. So what they did was, they brainwashed black people at the folk school. The guy went out there, there's no children. What they're doing out there, I had a picture, is they're training them to fight and kill people. That's what they're doing. Strategic communist warfare techniques, man. These people blowing up people's house. And what they did was, if you didn't cooperate, you gotta kill your kids. Because they know black people don't get it. And they do that, man. I read the reports, man. People were psychopaths. So, and then they started to get busted. And when they did, guess what they did? What they always do. Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., Satanists. Sammy Davis Jr. was a student of Anton LaVey. He's Satanist, man. Do you understand how improbable it is that all these people are Satanists? These people are all aligned. You can believe what you want, but they somehow seem to have a very good relationship with Satan and wanted him to be a success. So I'm back and see it. So they started the NAACP. Look how far back this goes. I didn't even understand how far they infiltrated, but listen to this. Blew my mind. I was praying one night, wasn't even thinking about it. And I was thinking about how powerful words are because I was listening to Dr. Yamato. He proved that words can change your body chemistry. So when you're talking to your kid and calling them a bitch and a whore and a slut, you're changing their body chemistry when you do that. Well, listen to this. When I grew up, we had a saying. Y'all remember this? Tell me in the comments. This is, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names may never harm me. You ever hear that? Y'all know where that come from? That's Tavistock. They had infiltrated Christian, all black organizations. There were no, I showed y'all. He said there were no authentic organizations left. How do you know that? Because he was monitoring them. So they were doing this. They took over the place. There were no authentic. The only people there were feeding black people a hatred for America. This is what they do. They have all these black social scientists because they've been putting them through school and then pushing them out into the community to brainwash us. So what they do is, it would look like it was a store, police station, look normal. Everybody look nice, they smile at you. But they're all trained social scientists and they're all black. And nobody expects a black person at this time. This guy was the first guy to get a PhD in psychology. The first guy. And then he gave PhDs to them. So nobody expected that. So when you're in a store and you see a clerk, he's black, black people, they fool black people. So this would happen. The guy would come, hey, good to see you. I see you, Warren. So this is what they do. It's called soft opinion creating. You do it in building relationships because people trust you. The CIA uses the same tactic.
All these tactics have been used for decades to take control of people's minds. So the guy would be a guy he's built relationship is. He thinks the guy's just a regular nice old black guy. This guy just graduated from psychomania. he's a social scientist, and this is just the end of slavery, and black people are suffering. So all black people are suffering. So he goes, man, I'm working with this white guy. He treated me really bad. Oh, really? Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I heard that America had gotten better and treating you better than that. Oh, well, hope they treat you better. And then that's what they do. And they did this for decades. And listen, don't underestimate the power of soft opinion creating. Don't you see these companies unlocked? I proved it. All of them are. What they do is they insert some authentic ones. So you test it, catch the authentic one and say, see, Dr. G, wrong. They do that. They already know you're going to do that. Okay. These people think ahead, man. So they started the NAACP. Everybody in the organization has embezzled. They're all communists. Some of them ran to Africa because they were doing so much illegal shit because they were murdering people. They were murdering people the whole time. They covered it up under the guise of children. They had no children, and they were all social scientists. And these guys are the sellouts, W.E.B. Du Bois, who sold out black race to these guys to control our minds, give us an education system that butchered us. Because we went from the greatest educational system in the world to butchering our own people. And listen to this. After they used us to create the eugenics program for Hitler. We helped Hitler prepare the Jews for the experiment. These people trained us to be doctors so they could diabolically use us for insane science to kill us, and that's what they did. Look, I'm sorry you don't like that. That's what happened. Try to disprove me, because Dr. G ain't no fool. I don't see they train us to check treat us so you don't make a fool out of yourself. Then we went to the station, check. Went before 5 PhDs trying to tear me up. None of them could find a hole. If 5 PhDs, gray-haired old men and women, couldn't punch holes in my stuff, don't even bother. Don't even bother. These type of people read 5 and 6 books a day. That's all they do. You know what I mean? So please, the idea that after a black man coming up in the hood, homeless for 6 years, raised his kids, completed his master's degree while he's homeless on the street, come out of all that, work in the black community, sisters are therapists, sons are therapists, and I don't know nothing. You keep telling yourself that. I want to thank everybody for being here. God bless all. Let me pray a prayer blessing on y'all. I hope I want you to go back and check it. What I do is I give people breadcrumbs, because giving people all the information is socialism. This is an individual responsibility. If you don't know, it's because you wasn't motivated enough to do what people do that know. That's all it is. Give all the excuses you want, but I ain't got time for it. So if you want to know, do something. Why do people don't know? Because they really don't want to know. They want you to give it to them, and even if you do give it to them, then they want to tell you it ain't the truth. Okay? Just let's get honest with it. My mother said, my mother made me look at the truth. She wouldn't let me live delusionally. You know what I mean? And I suggest you don't either. Don't work. So God bless y'all. Let's do a little prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. People, Lord God, I ask people to touch their hearts, open up their eyes, the scales of their eyes, so black people can see that they're being manipulated and exploited. And these are the evil monsters that did it. And Lord, I ask you, Lord, reveal that it was black people that did us to us and not white people. And they did it so that they can get fame and feel good about themselves at the expense of their own people. And they've been doing it ever since. Bless my friends. Bless my friends. Come again. In Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, I love y'all, man. I love you. I had a little experience with racism at a black police department. I trained them. And man, these guys come from the KKK history. When that police department was started, it was started in 1815. Slavery didn't end until 1865. So there were slaves all up in there. You know, them attitudes ain't left. So Dr. T is not saying that there's not slavery. There's just not racism. There will always be racism because we're sinners, we're imperfect. Black people just as sinful as white people. I was in a maximum security prison, and white people was murdering their family. White people murdering black people murdered their children. So please, don't bring it. I've seen both. Don't bring them with behaviors. You want to delusionally tell yourself that somehow you're morally better than white people, you need to do a history check. I did the history. And Shaka Zulu was killed by his own brother out of jealousy. and there was no white people there. Well, they were on the island. Shaka Zulu wouldn't let them go a little further than the shore. And the man was jealous because Shaka Zulu was a genius. He has his war strategies are taught in Annapolis. And I got friends that graduated in Annapolis. So you got to be a genius to go there. You know, the man was a genius. He was also killing his own people. You know what I mean? Chopping people up, selling his people into slavery to Sicily. You don't believe me? Look at the Free Cup. It's there. He was selling his own people. He had huge ships. I saw something in history saying that black people didn't have any ships. Are you crazy? They had the hugest ships in the world because there was a rare wood in Africa that you couldn't get anywhere else. And guess what it was perfect for? Making boats. And they had all of it. I forget what it was, just go look it up. And people were buying wood from them to make ships. And they were selling their black people. So please, black people, please, if you have not done an exhaustive history, please don't come up in here bringing your emotions. Don't do it, man. You know, it's embarrassing, man. And I can't deal with emotions. I deal with fact. I deal with what I can prove. And I can prove this, so I brought it to you. I can take you step by step, tell you names, dates, times, then confirm it. That's what I did. I don't do anything other than that. That's how I'm built. That's how my mother built me. Tell the truth, stop playing around. God bless y'all. See you soon.